Welcome, guys. We're going to do a continued reading from months and months and months and months and months ago. From the Book of Miracles, we're going to continue with Lesson 43. And from Hope Realized by Diane Allen, we're going to continue with Day 41. So if you're centered now, if you want to take the time to be here now, may this be a benefit to you. Starting with Lesson 43, God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Perception is not an attribute of God. His is the realm of knowledge. Yet He has created the Holy Spirit as the mediator between perception and knowledge. In other words, the bridge back to ourselves. Without this link with God, perception would have replaced knowledge forever in your mind. You would have believed the lies. With this link with God, perception will become so changed and purified that it will lead to knowledge for yourself. This is a function as the Holy Spirit sees it. Therefore, that is its function in truth. In God, you cannot see. Perception has no function in God and does not exist. Yet in salvation, which is the undoing of what never was, perception has a mighty purpose. Made by the Son of God for an unholy purpose, it must become the means for the restoration of His holiness to His awareness. Perception has no meaning. Yet, does the Holy Spirit give it a meaning very close to God's? Healed perception becomes the means by which the Son of God forgives His brother and thus forgives Himself. You cannot see apart from God because you cannot be apart from God. Whatever you do in Him, because whatever you think with His mind. If vision is real, and it is real to the extent to which it shares the Holy Spirit's purpose, when you cannot see apart from God, then you cannot see apart from God. 3 5-minute practice periods are required today. One as early and one as late as possible in the day. The third may be undertaken at the most convenient and suitable time that circumstances and readiness permits. At the beginning of these practice periods, repeat the idea for today to yourself with eyes open. Then glance around you for a short time, applying the idea specifically to what you see. 4 or 5 subjects for this phase of the practice periods are sufficient. You might say, for example, God is my source. I cannot see this desk apart from Him. God is my source. I cannot see that picture apart from Him, and so on. Although this part of the exercise periods should be relatively short, be sure that you select the subjects for this phase of practice indiscriminately, without self-directed inclusion or exclusion. For the second and longer phase, close your eyes. Repeat today's idea again, and then let whatever relevant thoughts occur to you add to the idea in your own personal way. Thoughts such as, I see through the eyes of forgiveness. I see the world is blessed. The world can show me myself. I see my own thoughts, which are like God's. Any thoughts related more or less directly to today's idea is suitable. The thoughts need not bear any obvious relationship to the idea, but they should not be in opposition to it. If you find your mind wandering, if you begin to be aware of thoughts which are clearly out of accord with today's idea, or if you seem to be unable to think of anything, open your eyes. Where were we? Repeat the first phase of the exercise period, and then attempt the second phase again. Do not allow any protracted periods to occur in which you become preoccupied with irrelevant thoughts. Return to the first phase of the exercise as often as necessary to prevent this. In applying today's idea in the shorter practice periods, the form may vary according to the circumstances and situations in which you find yourself during the day. When you are with someone else, for example, try to remember to tell him silently, "God is my source. I cannot see you apart from him." This form is equally applicable to strangers as it is to those you think are close to you. In fact, try not to make a distinction of this kind at all. Today's idea should also be applied throughout the day to various situations and events that may occur, particularly to those which seem to distress you in any way. For this purpose, apply the idea in this form. God is my source. I cannot see this apart from him. If no particular subject presents itself to your awareness at this time, merely repeat the idea in its original form. God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. Try today not to allow any long periods of time to slip by without remembering today's idea, and thus remembering your function. So, next we have Day 41, Practicality. The leader has to be practical and a realist, yet must talk the language of the visionary and the idealist. That's Eric Hoffer. Visionaries are often dislike being practical. Yes, visionaries do dislike being practical. I remember times when I was told to be practical and I cringed inside. As I grew into leadership roles over the last couple of decades, I had to learn to be practical and more of a realist. This does not mean that my visionary skills and my idealism had gone away or that I am squashing those parts of me. With exercise and with experience and knowledge, you learn to balance your visionary self with your practical self. Oh, that's good. I'm going to say that again. With experience and knowledge, you learn to balance your visionary self with your practical self. Yes, both can mutually coexist. Where is your comfort zone? Realist? Idealist? Are you the practical person or the visionary? All these are great, and each one you resonate with demonstrates to you the exact power and multifaceted beauty of who you are. You are not, let me say that again, not unidimensional. Be practical as you make decisions while also allowing your visionary self to navigate. Eric Hoffer has a point to be able to be practical while also speaking the language of the visionary. If you are the visionary leader, learn to speak practically and appeal to the realist so they will support getting the vision to come to life. That's what Disney has done. Oh, let's not talk about Disney. But if you are the visionary leader, learn to speak practically and appeal to the realists so they will support getting the vision to come alive. That's your workers. You need to be practical with your workers because you're dealing with their time and you're dealing with a lot of money usually. Daily applications, as per example. Take some quiet time and honor the parts of you that are included in the visionary and the realist arenas. Notice how they currently show up in your life. Take some time to bring your varied assets together for your unique leadership skills or style. Notice the words you use. Any adjustments needed? That's a good one. My personal reflections, I put, be practical as you include your inner child in your play / creativity / work / daily routine. Allow yourself the time you need for all of your layers to function together with ease and joy. I hope this has found you in a happier and more open space, and that it has helped you want to explore your inner leadership styles. And also, once again, lesson 43, God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. Between 4 and 5 times today for about 3-4 minutes. Love you guys. Namaste.